Complexities turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the America Grand Final. Woo! I can't. America!
That's how you do it right there.
It's like, Australia, we love you, Australia. That's the Australian way.
And it's all of America. North America and South America. You know, somebody complained to me about that on Twitter. They were like, I refer to America. It's just like it is what it is. Like that's like we refer to America, United States of America. We refer to it as America. And somebody bitched at me at Twitter, and they were like, "Can you stop calling it America? There's very clearly North America and South America. Like you just like claim to a whole entire continent." It's just like I don't know what you want me to tell you about. I didn't establish these rules, friend. That's just out there. That like day-to-day conversation. You refer to America, you're referring to the United States of America. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do about that?
I hate to actually say, Camp, but like, unless you actually say like this is the only team and like these two teams like the only teams that come out from America, and then you actually purposely exclude Peru and South America, like then I could understand it. But at that point, like if you're just like, man, Complexity is like such a great like American team, and it's like, well, like did you understand EWolves is also America? It's like, no, that's your preconceptions, which is making that problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like the silliest complaint. I was just like, I don't know what you want me to do about the world being this way, friend. Oh man, EWolves, they made it into the grand finals. That was an insane series. If you haven't seen it, game number 2, EWolves versus Team Archon. Absolutely one of the most insane endings to a game I've ever seen in my life.
I was sitting out there with Moon during that game, and we're just sitting there going, what the hell just happened? What is this? It's just like, why? Why?
So,
I'm hoping we get a game like that tonight. I would be so happy if we get a game like that tonight. Like, that's my thing.
I'm going to talk about this series real quick because we got to get into the draft, but I want to lay out my thoughts on this series. Watching the American qualifiers so far and watching some other games that haven't been ESL as well, I have not been particularly impressed with EWolves. I said that the semifinals is very representative of the Americas region, which was that these teams were the top 4. And I think that in a way we're seeing the top 2. I was much more impressed, though, by the Complexity versus Digital Chaos series and the way that went down, particularly to the favor of Complexity. They looked very dominant. I was very much impressed by their play. EWolves, I was not as impressed by. And this is the thing, people, like, because it's just a region difference, like, there's going to be people who, like, naturally be like, oh, you just hate Peru, whatever. Toby, you know this probably better than most others. You know I'm back in EWolves, like, 9 times out of 10. I grew up casting these guys. You know, when I was back in America casting EWolves, I was casting Smash all day, every day, right? Yeah. Them and Power Rangers were my go-to teams. I was like backing them, like I was like, these guys are amazing. They're gonna be top shit, you know. So it's nothing to do with that. I love EWolves. But the simple fact is, from an analyst perspective, I have to give you the hard truth, which was EWolves. They won the way that won that series. First one was a cheese Roshan strat. It was really well put together, completely surprised Team Archon. I congratulate that on that. But their play after taking that Roshan, once they established an advantage, they did not very cleanly hold onto it. And a large part of this actually lays on EWO's shoulders. EWO and Van were two of the most hype Peruvian players, like South American players, coming out of that region when they first joined this squad. And I was all behind them, especially Van. And it's really turned into the fact that EWO is not a very clean, like when I was thinking about this on my walk-in, Toby, on my run-in rather. When I'm watching EWO, it's like NBA, right? For those of you guys who are watching basketball, right? When you watch good basketball, you see good basketball.
Team pick.
When I watch EWO, I'm not watching the NBA. I'm not watching basketball. I'm watching the NBA Dunk Championship. That's what I'm watching. It's like EWO thinks that somehow us as commentators are also judges, and we're sitting there over there giving him style points for the plays that he's making or the plays that he's sometimes trying and failing at, and we're like giving him style points that are somehow going to allow him to win the game. Good, clean basketball sometimes does not involve flashy plays. It involves sometimes the sacrificial plays. Sometimes it involves the safe plays. It doesn't involve you doing a goddamn 360 through the air and dunking it. Sometimes it just involves you going with a goddamn layup. You know, that's what EWO does. He tries to make every goddamn shot like he's jumping off a trampoline and somersaulting through the air and dunking the basket instead of just getting in the goddamn hoop. And that is one of the reasons that I do not think EWolves are going to take it against Complexity. Out of Complexity, I see confidence in both strategy as well as discipline. In EWolves, I see a personal skill and a lot of swag, especially out of EWO. It's like I'm watching Infamous when I specifically hone on in him. The rest of EWolves I'm all good with, but EWO's got to get his shit together if they hope to be able to beat Complexity, because the kind of mistakes that they made against Team Archon, they cannot make against Complexity, especially seeing what I saw in them against Digital Chaos. The game that they lost, I saw that they lost to a strategy. And they still had windows. They still made themselves openings that they had the opportunity to come back in. All right, I'm done. Let's talk about the draft.
I let that soapbox go as long as you want it to go, Cap. But yeah.
You were bugging the shit out of me watching that series, man.
What?
I was just like, good
Because
lord.
this bristleback made you pose like questions you've never thought about before with a bristleback? Fine.
All right, so Death Prophet, Lone Druid, and Shadow Shaman. Push. EWolves seem to have themselves a really well-constructed push lineup.
It seems a little late, though, with the push. Like, yeah, when Death Prophet hits level 11, then she's got more push behind her. When Lone Druid has Radiance, then split push is available, or higher levels to get in and attack down buildings. Then maybe Shadow Shaman still needs level 6. This will all take time to come online against Nature's Prophet and a Chen and a VS. If you add a Lunar onto the back of this from Complexity, they're going to force the issue up against EWolves so much earlier than EWolves is able to deal with it. Because their counter push right now is Crypt Swarm and Shadow Shaman's Ether Shock. That's pretty much it at the moment. Or the ability to drag the creep wave off with a bat.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking at.
Complexity you're right. Complexity have like the bit faster push, especially with the Chen. Vengeful Spirit is just a strong laning phase supports that naturally transitions as well. I expect Complexity. It almost seems like EWolves know that Complexity are very likely to run push lineup, and that does seem like one of their biggest strengths right now, is that Complexity were able to match and beat, I think, Digital Chaos when it came to push lineups. And I think that that's what DC are kind of running right now. It seems to be more of their flavor of just like this specific period of time, right? So and Complexity in their push lineup in game number 1, very crisp and clean. Not a single death, I think, was actually a mistake. They had 3 deaths. All of them were well warranted. They actually were like successful, much better trades. In Digital Chaos's push lineup, their openings essentially for Complexity to be able to take the game. So in this case,
5 seconds remaining.
Sorry, I just had to show what Moon just wrote in the Twitch chat. If you were in there 2 minutes ago, congratulations, you saw it.
Anyway, so it almost seems like they're like, all right, we're gonna try and run this push strat against Complexity, and Complexity I think they have the faster push lineup because they managed to pick up the Chen, which is really important. And they haven't revealed much else to their lineup, because they can always back out, right? They can just go from laning dominance with Vengeful Spirit, Chen, and Nature's Prophet. That's a lot of laning dominance. And then they could fall back on a later game if they want to. That's the beauty of their strategy when EWolves go for that heavy, very revealing DP Lone Druid opening. It's like, you know exactly what they're going to be all about.
Yeah.
They're a lot about a lot of mid-game push. Complexity's lineup is still very left open. And if they see enough weakness, they can try and slide it in that first 15 minutes, or they can fall back on better.
I'm actually looking for before 15 minutes. I'm actually looking at this Chen pickup. I could be actually taking high ground at around like 12, 13 minutes going in through that bottom lane. Maybe a little bit earlier. Like you'd take out the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower with your first push at around 6, 7 minutes. And if there is no real response from EWolves, so I'm really worried about this Earthshaker pickup. It's a hero who needs like something like a Blink Dagger or a Force start to be really effective. This is an off-lane Earthshaker. God help him. I'm assuming it's a support roaming Earthshaker, so they have to make ganks work. But there's little kill potential from a Death Prophet unless you get a guaranteed block. I think that's what Complexity's now wondering. Like they may have been thinking like something like a DK for that mid lane, and they need something which is a lot more maneuverable that can escape. And the puck definitely fills that role. But this is now their jump in initiator. Dream coil doesn't even need to jump in. You might be able to catch someone out of position, get that quick kill, even break the Dream coil with a VS swap if you're looking for the extra stun and play. But right now, like I want to favor Complexity so heavily because I'm feeling like EWolves will just be caught with their pants down. Complexity will push. This will be like a Luna last pickup. Lycan would have done the job as well.
I think,
and that's it.
I think Complexity have set themselves up really well to deal with the Death Prophet. I wasn't sure what hero it would be to go up against the DP, like if they would try and get an OD or something like that. They get the much more like early, aggressive, and perhaps a bit kill-oriented. I don't know, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for OD because it couples so well with Chen, because you lead with imprisonment and then Chen is able to get in position with his creeps. But I think that no matter what, like either one of those heroes, they're well set up to shut down the Death Prophet in the laning phase and make sure that she can't be the naturally aggressive, dominant 1v1 hero because they have such big rotations. I want to also point out something else in the draft, that Complexity, with their opening of Vengeful Spirit and Nature's Prophet, they actually get one of probably the best supports at dealing with Nature's Prophet in the beginning. Vengeful Spirit, I think Bane might be pretty good because of his stats, and you just have to deal with the treants in the beginning. And that's something that Vengeful Spirit does. That's something that EWolves don't quite have, unfortunately. They do not have good heroes to deal with the treants they're going to be walking in, so whether that means they're going to be pulling very early on, yeah, I don't... I think this is a Smash Invoker, and they're...
It's another hero that requires levels and time.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty solidly focused on mid to late game. Yeah, and they really got to make sure that their laning phase doesn't go bad. But Complexity, I think they're a well-suited team just because. The Undying wakes. Yeah, Undying. That's pretty good.
That turns this into a what? An Undying offlane or a
Oh,
VS
they're
core?
doing the They're doing this is. I guess it could be Venge Core.
Venge Core, Prophet Core, Undying Core. Like, all three of them are capable of doing it.
So, one idea is that they're going back to the Nature's Prophet safe lane that Chessie was doing yesterday, and they use that in order to exploit some weakness, same kind of weakness, actually, that Digital Chaos had in their lineup, that it was a little bit too late oriented.
It's the
so
same
they took
conversation
advantage
we were
of that.
having earlier tonight, like you run a safe lane Prophet because you get these really quick and early levels.
The other play there is that the Fury, and then you'd be running like an Undying Core, or the other play here is just to have a Vengeful Spirit Core, safe lane farming core, which is still, I think, the same kind of concept. It's a core that comes on relatively quickly, and then you would be obviously running the offlane Nature's Prophet, which they are going to go with the Nature's Prophet play. They are going to be running that as sorry, they're going to be running the Vengeful. Obviously, Nature's Prophet was core either way. It was a question between Undying and Venge, and Venge is going to be a core. Okay, so they're actually going to be running a Venge Undying dual offlane.
This works a little bit better in a way because okay, so you think about what's your offlane? You're running an offlane Lone Druid. Now, the Lone Druid could potentially harass directly into Chessie, but what can Lone Druid not deal with? Multiple treants attacking him directly. The bear doesn't want to do that. He'll be pulling him off the lane, burning through his consumables, and the early stages, all you want to do is make sure that safe lane of EWolves is not safe at all. Like, Smash can go up there, but he's going to get harassed out of the lane by the Undying. And there's nothing the Shaman can really do about it. A roaming Earthshaker won't really have much to roam on if Nature's Prophet can get early levels. Yeah, I'm all for this. I'm actually I'm even more worried about like EWolves lineup now. I know I'm sounding very negative towards them in this game, but it's just the feeling that they're going to be left absolutely helpless unless they can get some early control against Complexity.
Yeah, if they were facing up against a different team, like say any of the other team from the semifinals,
Yeah.
I'd feel a lot more optimistic about what EWolves are going to be doing here, but it's just because of the fact that Complexity have already established that they are willing to be able to run some of these more, like, you could say, hyper-aggressive and laning phase focus that quickly transition into a 15-minute dominance into a quick win. Like, they've already shown that they are able to run that kind of lineup. Yep. And they did exactly this. The same thing, they are similar, I guess, in a way, that they did against Digital Chaos, where they ran Furion and Beastmaster as their two side lane cores. And this is obviously a bit different heroes, and their timings are going to be, I think their timings are actually sped up than that last game, but same kind of principle, right? So if Complexity has punished this kind of what you can look at as somewhat greediness, and it's primarily because of the supports. The Shadow Shaman and Earthshaker are just a bit too greedy.
Swindles is making it so far and can't get anything out of this top lane. Because the Observer Ward position, Masoku, like, he does this pull. This is that danger zone. I almost want to reference Finnish Dota at this point. When I watched Trixie's Jakiro offlane, and they ran it with an Enchantress combo. You grab one creep from here, in this case it'll be the Troll creep, and when they do the pull, you dive directly underneath the tier 1 tower. Liquid Fire made that a lot easier then, but they could do it with only 2 heroes. When you add an Undying into the mix, if you can get to level 2 and get that Tombstone up and running, it's going to be even better. Now he gets a double decay, the Troll Trap now comes in, and Z-Freak, who's he going? The Tombstone's down, so Hanskin, they've got that maneuverability. The Crypt Swarm was not enough damage, but Complexity, they're a little bit split on their focus, but there's so many Undying minions going towards Van. The Tombstone may die. Hanskin's still fighting in the tree lines. He's got decay off cooldown in 5 seconds time. Masoku's only got 465 health. That's not enough. The Earthshaker can't buy enough space, and Complexity will not only take first blood, they will take a dual blood on this offlane.
Yeah, they baited that out pretty well. They, I'm not sure whether or not they knew that there was no vision from EWolves in order to see them, because they haven't tried to counter anything out, but they just kind of like baited Hanskin. It came a bit close, right? That would have been sad if they gave up first blood, and it wasn't the cleanest game plan that came in. Like, Z-Freak was targeting a different person, Swindle, and everything else, but it was the general bait coming from Complexity that they knew that EWolves would jump on that Undying. They did make the right play from EWolves, like the idea of running Death Prophet at the top.
Good Shackles, EMP, Limp. Oh, he actually phase shifts a little bit of it, and they're very biased. Oh, Chessie came in! Limp! The tornado is too small! It doesn't reach far enough, but now the fissure is over on Chessie. His phase boost still on cooldown. The attack doesn't miss uphill. So Chessie will end up dying after sacrificing himself. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Van's gonna die once again.
Yeah, but how sad is that for Smash? Like, what a huge win that would have been for EWolves if they managed to pick up both of those heroes. Something else to talk about, just drafting-wise, if you look at this, when you pick up a Shadow Shaman, it's actually similar to Oracle, but actually so much worse in that it's really bad against aggressive lane. Super strong against solo offlaners, but if you can contest it, you should. And that's exactly why Complexity are going to be running such a strong aggro tri-lane here, is because a Shadow Shaman is very bad at punishing it. If you just think about the basics of the hero, Shackles very clearly is the most obvious ability that you just really can't use against multiple heroes.
Yeah, instead he has to level up his Ether Shock and just rely on that burst damage to get something back, and looks like EWolves are now going to smoke up as 3.
Yeah, they know they have to get some control back as fast as possible. It's worth using these early smokes.
When Z-Freak starts creep skipping like this, it gives an opportunity for them. And Z-Freak, well, they start the first Spirit Siphon. Z-Freak makes a break for the tree line, unfortunately. Sorry, that's the wrong path for the Fissure. It's going to lock him out. The Centaur blocks a little bit of the path. Van's going to cut himself through with a Tango, but now Chessie also TP's in. Masoku losing too much life too quickly. The EMP burn makes it impossible for Hanskin and Swindle to cast anything else, but the Tombstone is still underneath that tower, which allowed for a large portion of this dive. And it's Chessie, another Sprout's available that slows down M-God. So the Earthshaker, he throws the Fissure, but the Treants are in front. They're still looking for that body block, and there it is. Chessie with a double kill. The Centaur stun missing over on Van, but you've still got that Penitence slowing down the Death Prophet, and Chessie, another Sprout available. Swindles still doesn't have his stun available. He's only got a Wave of Terror, but it's not going to stop Chessie. You might have died in mid for the cause, but they get a triple kill. Now they Wave of Terror over on the Lone Druid, and
Limp's gonna get a boost!
Sprout.
Oh no!
That's so
Oh,
huge!
God.
It's an ultra kill coming in for Chessie. EWolves are falling apart. The tier 1 tower's not even below half-life yet still they're battling at the tier 2 to get an 8 for 2, and I don't think it's over yet. Lim's got Dream Coil and Shadow Shaman. He's begging for a level 4, but he's also begging to die. The Prophet of TP, yeah, he does. The Soku, the Wrath of Nature kicks him. There goes your Dream Coil. He'll shackle over onto Limp. Does actually burn off the mana, but Chetsy's also going to come in. Sprouts with a vision.
Oh, he dropped him!
Perfectly surrounds him with the Dream Protect, with the frickin' treants.
That was so good.
Oh, Smash, there's nothing he can do. He already cast everything he could to help out his teammate. And they don't even kill off Limp.
Hey, EWolves, they at least recognize that they had to bring, because you're facing up against a Furion, and because it's this weird like safe lane Furion as well, you had to get your heroes involved as fast as possible. So it was good on like Smash to rotate up to the top lane. Unfortunately, this lineup is just too much to fight. When Complexity make that full committal to 5 on top, and you've already made your full committal to 5 on top, you're gonna lose that matchup. These heroes just are much better at 5 minutes, obviously. Like Z-Freak even like pretty majorly missed micros when the Death Prophet was originally going on him, and they still like very clearly were going to come out on top, even with his miss micro where he didn't stop the Death Prophet with either one of his stunners.
I wonder if Complacent now try and have some kind of play on bottom lane. EWolves is sort of prepared for it. Earthshaker reveals himself by running into the Radiant Creep wave. So I reckon directly attack that tier 1 tower, but the Undying's ready to go. There's a level 3 tombstone. Swindles is just solo pushing in the top lane. He needs that TP scroll, which is flying up on the courier right now. Hanskin will take the aggro, and Swindles can now leave the top if wants. Unless they're looking for another play. Like, Chelsea's still farming up. He's 5-1-1 on an Nature's Prophet, and he's picked up his Hand of Midas under, like, he got that 6 minutes into the game.
Chelsea's gonna be so absurdly over-leveled.
Yes.
Level 8 by 7 minutes.
You know what game this is? This is the early Desolator game for a Nature's Prophet. Wrath of Nature's going to connect Dream Coil, make it impossible for the Invoker to escape, and they're actually going to catch out Van too. The Tombstone is already down, so the Chen creep are just there. And this is the push, like we're 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, and you're going to be taking out another tier 1 tower, but because there's no defense from EWolves, like you give anything for that Shaman to just morph into a Keeper of the Light, so you can like illuminate and just push the wave back somehow.
Yeah.
But he can't do it. Like, if he comes in close enough for the Ear Shock, he brings himself in range of Swindle's swap, or potential other initiation. And Complexity, if they want to, they can just go high ground in 35 seconds when Tombstone's off cooldown. Or they go for Roshan right now and just set themselves up for more.
You don't want to go high ground just yet, because it is.
I know it's risky, but they have the option.
That is one of the things, is when you run these push lineups and you try and push too early. That is actually more likely to kill your strategy than pushing too late.
Earthshake is pretty confirmed dead. He can go for the Fissure and TP out. The Wave of Terror reveals a little bit. There's no Dream Coil. Okay.
Oh, that Fissure actually fully blocks. That's pretty good. But yeah, they want to take all the outer towers first. They want to get Roshan and Aegis in their hands.
This is the play, Smash. This is the play. Jesse first in Tangle, not going to happen. Be a Savage Roar, but he's going to EMP Tornado. Support's there from Limp, however, and Chessie.
He's blocking out the bear.
Already available. He can't get the bear all the way through, and Iowa's going to die before they can get a revenge on Chessie. Smash will TP out to safety. But meanwhile, the bottom tier 1 tower was taken. They swapped onto the Earthshaker, perfectly in to the Centaur Stomp into follow-up clap. And this now means the tier 2 tower will take significant damage, if not die.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing. You saw it from the old complexity of TI5, you see it from this complexity as well. Their teamwork is top-notch. Like, the immediate reactions of complexity, as soon as they started having their Nature's Prophet being gone on, they reacted, like, if that was any other team, or not any other team, but this was some other teams, and they TP in perhaps like a second later, Chessie still dies, right? It was that kind of like instant reactions from complexity that prevents Chessie from dying entirely, which is what allows complexity also to be able to pick up such clean wins oftentimes.
Okay, we had a 9-minute mech. The Z-Freak.
Yeah,
Even with the miss-summoning from Chessie, because he only got 3 treants out of his Sprat that he did and blocked up the rest of his wave. They're gonna get Negus Immortal on him 10 minutes in. He's gonna use his minus in a moment and hit his level 10 minutes in. And it's a 12,000 gold advantage and climbing for complexity. Like, they're going more than 1,000 gold a minute in like ahead of EWolves.
Yeah, you know that metric, Toby. I brought it up time and time again. The 10x10, 15x15 is a guaranteed win.
Pretty much.
Like, it's just like the...
Unless complexity, basically, like, they just... Well, they screw up. That's the only way. Masoku's out too far. He's going to get easily picked off. The only advantage is he didn't use his Mass Serpent wards. What was the timer I said? I said it was 13 minutes. I saw complexity going high ground during our drafting phase with the lineup.
Yeah,
we're pretty much on time for that.
Yeah, you're pretty much on point because they're probably going to push high ground before their Aegis is down, so you know it's not going to be 15 minutes.
Just tier 2 town for now.
They need to take the tier 2 first. That's going to stall them up a minute or two.
So what defense is there? There's no Echo Slam, and Shaker can't even spam fissures at this point.
Oh, the net worth is very clean. No, the net worth from the CS to net worth. I didn't notice that until now.
Oh, you mean this thing?
Yeah. All the rating heroes on top, all the EWolves heroes on bottom.
Oh, well, those people that like color coordination in perfect positions. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, Cap. I've got to move back. Obviously I can't go center anymore. They're coming in a minute and a half early.
I mean, things just went better than expected.
Heartskin actually just making happy trees. They're going high ground. Just sitting there. Okay, I don't know. Maybe trying to block a position. Get it, like, any kind of approach. But these trees, like, Z-Freak's not even putting his entire Chen army in. He's only got, what? Oh, actually, that doesn't even belong to him. That's Swindles. That's a frickin' helmet that dominated Ursa. Of Swindles. And now he can climb, and the Lone Druid just lost his bear without a resummon. It's 36 seconds before the resummon is available. So Lone Druid is now currently a Quelling Blade. The Undying Tombstone is triggered. It's a good ward trap on Swindles, and he puts Z-Freak in the middle of it. Wow, what a team player. They'll get rid of the Mass Serpent wards in time. Sentries are down, so the Invoker got picked up pretty quickly. The Mass Serpent wards taken care of. The top rack is also done, and GG. Not even 13 minutes get to appear on the clock. And EWolves, I know you said complexity would have a pretty damn good game here against EWolves, but, well, holy
12.5 minute GG. That is probably a record. How far ahead they are? They were like what, 17?
The graph hits what was it? So it's 31,720 to 11.
Oh, wait, they're just shy of 20,000 ahead by 12 minutes. That's right? Yeah, they're just